Hello guys, my name's Jamie, welcome back to my channel, and over the past few weeks I've been on an exercise journey, a journey to fitness. Now you might have seen on my channel a few weeks or even a month ago I posted a video about my first week at F45. Now if you don't know what F45 is, it's a sort of exercise class that you go along to. It's 45 minutes of really hard workouts and it's supposed to change your life, and it did. I'm feeling fitter and healthier than ever before. Right now I'm doing an 8-week challenge, so in 2 months time you will see the results and see if I got the body that I've always wanted. But for now, I'm really enjoying F45. And I also live with type 1 diabetes, which is a condition where my pancreas doesn't produce insulin, which makes eating and exercise and things like that difficult. I basically have to manage my blood sugar, and it can go up and cause me problems, and it can go down and cause me problems. So starting anything new, even a job, even moving house, and definitely a new way of exercising can be very tough. So what I did is I documented my experience of starting F45 and how that affected my type 1 diabetes. When I went along to my first session of F45, I was surprised for 2 reasons. One, because I'd never worked so bloody hard in my life, so it was a bit of a shock to me. And 2, the effect that it had on my type 1 diabetes.
So just to do a quick action replay, Emmy just said that she thinks she's blacking out. There was a point where I thought, no, I'm going to fall over. It's all over. Interestingly though, my blood sugar didn't drop, it went up. Like if you look there, my blood sugar actually spiked doing that workout, and it was entirely cardio. So usually cardio would drop my blood sugar, but this, for some reason, didn't.
So if you haven't got type 1 diabetes or you don't know much about the condition, usually any sort of cardio workout would tend to lower your blood sugar. So I was concerned all the way through that I'd get a hypo, which is low blood sugar, which can get really dangerous and you have to correct it. And in that 45 minutes, there's not a lot of time to, sort of move away and have a break. It's full on all the way through. So to see that my blood sugar rose slightly in this initial exercise was very, not concerning, but interesting to me. I knew this was not going to be how I expected it to. So after my first session of F45, I went home with a slightly raised blood sugar, so I decided to eat, a little bit healthier. I just thought I'd document this too, because usually when I come home and I've not eaten much today and I'm starving, I will just run and have whatever I fancy. And tonight, that was these incredibly delicious but super unhealthy ramen noodles. So just to give you a brief rundown, they've got 4 grams of fibre but 84 grams of carbohydrates, a lot of that being sugar. And for someone that's type 1 diabetic, that's obviously not great, but my thinking is when I've been to the gym, I'm a bit more insulin sensitive, so I can handle a bit more sugar. Not happening today. So after my first F45 session, I'm getting ready some vegetables. I cut up some more vegetables. I don't know what it is, but I think after being in such like a positive environment that really focuses on well-being, I brought that home with me, and I want to continue that because I really want to make this work, and I think I've got to give it all of my effort. So yeah, I wouldn't usually do what I'm doing now, because like I say, I'm really hungry, and when I get really hungry I get into like feed my cravings mode. But that's not happening tonight. It's a good sign. So we're going to fast forward a few days now, and essentially at this moment I'm still an experiment. I'm still working out how this new way of exercising is affecting my body. And what was happening to me after working out F45 is I was becoming very insulin sensitive, and what that means is that my body, my muscles in my body were just getting really thirsty for glucose and drawing it all out of my body. So any insulin that was there, which obviously lowers my blood sugar, was taking it down too far. So I use an insulin pump, which is a little electronic medical device that sits inside my body sort of, and also a bit outside, and drip feeds insulin into me over the course of the day, like a little bit every sort of 3 minutes or so. And what that was doing is causing me to have low blood sugar, or hypo as I would call it. it. So I wanted to stop that because it's not very nice and it can get dangerous. So what I was doing was taking my insulin pump off and only putting it on when my blood sugar started to rise or I had something to eat, you know, the times when I would need to give myself injections essentially. So what I was doing was essentially returning to managing with insulin injections, but through a pump, a bit backwards. It's not how you're supposed to use a thing. So you can see I still haven't cracked it yet. But like I said, I was a bit of an experiment. So I decided to experiment on myself. Test something out. So ever since I did the first F45, I've been really insulin sensitive. That means that every time I give myself insulin, it drops my blood sugar quicker than it usually would. So now I'm at the sky high level of 14.2 millimoles per litre, which, if you don't know, is quite a lot. I'm supposed to be between 4 and 7. So the experiment now is I'm gonna give myself 1 unit of insulin, which would usually drop me about 4 mmol, which would get me to 10, which would be still too high. So I think 1 unit of insulin is gonna drop me to 6 because of how hard I've just worked and how sort of glucose thirsty my muscles are. So I'm gonna give myself a unit now, check in about an hour and see where we are. All right then, so it's just about an hour later, and let's see how that single unit of insulin works on my body. Hopefully I'm not too low, hopefully I'm not hypo. Hypo is when my blood sugar like drops too far. Okay, no, it's steady, look. So there's where it came down. So 9.4. Obviously I just don't want to give myself too much to risk going hypo, So I'm happy with that. That's going to keep dropping. As you can see, that's the downward trend there, so it's going to keep going like that, and hopefully it'll stabilise around 6. So it did stabilise at around 6. It was always easy to get my blood sugar down because I was insulin sensitive, but because I'm so busy, I haven't really got the time to be watching my blood sugar really closely all through the day. So what I was doing, it's a bit naughty really, is I was just taking my insulin pump off and hoping for the best. Obviously checking sort of regularly, but when I do like a really busy job, when I've got a really busy day and I'm all over the place, it's really hard to really pay attention to what your blood sugar's doing. So maybe I wasn't doing that so much. And then when I got to the end of the week, I still hadn't really cracked it yet. I still hadn't finalized what my plan to manage my blood sugar and all this workout was. And the last exercise session of the week that I attended was Hollywood, and Hollywood is just, it's so much pain but so much fun at the same time, and I was a bit nervous about this one, to be honest. I'm struggling a bit. So the thing is with F45 is the exercises are just too demanding for me to be wearing my insulin pump, but because the exercise is so anaerobic, it's raising my blood sugar quite considerably. Obviously when my blood sugar goes that high, it has an effect on my body, so I start to feel a little bit lethargic, I feel tired, I start to feel a little bit, you know, like drowsy, which is what I'd really like to avoid. So I'm really trying to find a solution for that. I really don't want to give myself any insulin before a workout because I know personally the smallest amount of exercise really just drops my blood sugar considerably. So I'm yet to find a solution for that. It's actually annoying me a little bit because there's obviously one out there. I'm just really scared of giving myself the insulin and then having to pull out of a workout because I'm having a hypo. Just to see how that super hard workout affected my blood sugars, I'm gonna do a test now. So to put this into context, I haven't been wearing my insulin pump for 2 nights in a row now because I'm just so insulin sensitive. And the thing with my pump is if I set a temporary basal rate, I have to set an end point. So an alarm goes off when it finishes and it wakes me up. So for me, it's just been working better to just not have my insulin pump in. And my blood sugar rises a little bit, but I think that's safe considering the amount of exercise that I'm doing. So let's give it a scan now. I was 8.4. Whoa. I've really shot up. So my insulin pump's gonna go back on, and honestly, the smallest amount of insulin will just take away that spike there. that is the thing with this sort of exercise. It does fantastic things for my insulin sensitivity, but the initial workout really does spike my blood sugar, and because of how, you know, demanding and the range of movement that's required to do these exercises, I just cannot wear my insulin pump. And I'm also very apprehensive to give myself any insulin because of how insulin sensitive I become as soon as I do these exercises. I don't want to hypo because I really want to do the whole class as is. So I think the spikes, the hypers, are an occupational hazard, but as soon as I put my insulin pump in, that's just gonna disappear. So that's gonna go in right now, and I am gonna go and have a shower. So a few more weeks down the line, and here we are, and I think I'm doing a bit better. Obviously, I wanted to continue at F45. I mean, I'm doing an 8-week challenge, so I'm obviously enjoying it. I'm obviously getting more benefits than I was at the gym, but I also wanted to make sure that I was doing it in the healthiest way possible. You know, having super high blood sugars is not going to be great for, you know, growing muscles in the right places. It's not going to be great for keeping me working out at the optimum level. Like I mentioned, the high blood sugars really makes me lethargic. So right now, I think I'm sort of on my way to cracking it. It's not there yet, but if I can just make sure that I keep my insulin pump on, maybe at a reduced level if I'm doing loads of cardio that week, but on regardless, so the insulin is still in my body isn't gonna make jerk reactions, it isn't gonna send my blood sugar up super high, or it's not gonna drop really far, because I need to keep things consistent. I need to keep things as stable and level as possible. And what that means is just paying a bit more attention to my insulin pump and to my body. And what I did is I went for it. I bit the bullet and I tried the experiment of taking a bit of insulin before my workout, and it worked. It was a big step to make, but it was only able to be a step to make when I was a bit more comfortable in the environment of which I am now. And looking back on my experience with F45 and comparing that to what I was experiencing with the gym, I'm so glad that I've started doing something like this. Exercise for someone with type 1 diabetes is revolutionary. It helps you just maintain a solid level of blood sugar. It keeps your body functioning in its best way possible. It raises your mood, because obviously there's a mental health toll with a condition like this. So anything like regular exercise is one of the best things you can do, not only for your physical health, but your mental health too. So I'm really keen to carry on with F45 and see what I can do with it, what state I'll be in at the end of this 8-week challenge. But right now, I think after reviewing all of that footage and looking back on my thoughts and what I was feeling at the time, okay, it was hard, it was tough, but I was determined to work it out and find a way to make exercise and my type 1 diabetes meet in the middle, not become friends maybe, but become, you know, distant acquaintances and, you know, be civil with each other. And I think I've got there. I think I'm at that point. So I think I want to say a huge thank you to the team at F45 for getting me to this position. I think I deserve a pat on the back too for taking a big step and, you know, doing something to improve my health. And I want to thank you too for watching this video, and I hope it's helped you in any way. If you want any advice about anything like that, I'm obviously not a medical professional, but I can tell you what worked for me and what didn't work for me. So get in touch with me if you want to know anything or you've got any questions. But that is it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you back here on my channel again very soon for another video.